So I want to thank the Oncology Club for inviting me to speak today about global medical physics program that we have started with Ghana. So this program is a little different because really what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring together disciplines. So this brings together medical physics and engineering together to show how we can improve innovation in the field of radiation oncology. So medical physics, the role of medical physics is for treatment planning, delivery, safety, quality assurance of patients. And the key for medical physicists is to look at imaging, like advanced therapy techniques. All these things have to be related to treating a patient. Where with biomedical engineering, the role really is development of technologies and creation of devices that can be used for radiation oncology. Also, engineering drives innovation like AI, the things that we're doing now, and also automation in the clinic. And so it's natural that these two entities should speak to each other. And I know a lot of departments, we have a lot of silos where you just have radiation oncology, just have radiology, just have engineering, but no one really talks to each other. And so with this program, we were trying to have something that really brings people together. And so why do you want to do that? Because I think when you integrate these disciplines, it really drives medical physics. Biomedical engineering, again, there's a lot of innovations that happen that people don't realize you can actually implement that for radiation oncology. And so some examples that I've listed here is such as like the AI-driven treatment planning or auto contouring, or things like real-time imaging or planning. These are engineering accomplishments that we actually have used in radiation oncology. And the thought is that we really not just want to plan now, but for the future. You're looking in like 5, 10 years from now, we really want to establish medical physics is a changing field. The medical physics 10 years ago is not like the medical physics today. And from 10 years from now, the medical physics will be totally different also. And so you really need to continually change education, change the training in order to think about how we are ready for the future. And so we had the idea of like, let's think 5, 10 years from now, like what would the vision be? And so in developing this program, there's things that we were thinking about. First, we want to come up with some kind of pilot. Let's come up with some kind of model that we can have. And then let's implement that model. And there's some training involved, and then you have to market the program. And so these are things that we were considering. And so this program is actually a first of its kind because we actually are bringing together engineering and physics, and these are all the partners that you see here. It's Penn Engineering, Penn Medicine, we have Penn Global, we have the 4 centers in Ghana, Kolebu, Swedish Ghana, Peace and Love Hospital, Komfo Anoke, and also we are using the KNUST and University of Ghana. And so all these pieces, we said let's kind of bring these together to create a program that we think will help to really drive the future of medical physics. And we use Ghana as a pilot. So we received some pilot funding from the University of, Penn Global, which is a division in the University of Pennsylvania, to start the program. And I had mentioned some of the partners before, but we also had some AI partners that were involved. So Radformation, RPA, MD Anderson, Corona AI, and Haran AI. So these are people who all have agreed to be part of this program. Last year was the first year that we've done the program, and so we are still going into our second year. So the first thing we wanted to do was really to educate people on both sides. And so we had invited faculty from Ghana to come to University of Pennsylvania. On the left here, we see Verna Vanderpew, who is a radiation oncologist at Kolebu, who came to UPenn, gave a lecture, met with some of our students that you see there, and just talked about what is it like to be oncologists in Ghana? Because that's one of the things that we really need to kind of learn from each other. I don't know what it's like to be a medical physicist in Bangladesh, but I think that, I can learn and understand what it means to be a medical physicist here. And that way we can, kind of work together as we try to develop for the future. And on the right, we had Eric Addison, who's the medical physicist in Ghana, who came to UPenn also and gave a talk about, again, the life of a medical physicist, the things that they're concerned about, the issues. And again, this was more of a relationship, to just get to know each other. And then we we looked at the curriculum. Now, the curriculum is the same curriculum as we have at the University of Pennsylvania. Part of our master's program is that the students have to do a clinical practicum, a 5-week program in order to receive credit towards graduation. The course is exactly the same. There's nothing we changed. There's nothing different. It's just that it's in Ghana. And so the way we had it designed was that the first week was more orientation and the cultural preparation. So what is it like, again, to be in Ghana? What is it, some things that you would expect? Like, what are some cultural things you have to be aware of? And this was orientation that was part of the Faculty of Ghana, part of the Center for Global Health at UPenn, and also the medical physicists at both places. And then they will go to Ghana for 4 weeks. They spend a week at four different sites, 2 weeks in Accra, 2 weeks in Kumasi. So the first week was in Swedish Ghana, second week was Koibu, so you can see kind of the schedule here. And again, like I said, the curriculum is the same curriculum that all of our graduate students at University of Pennsylvania follow, regardless of where they go for clinical practicum. It was just that they had the option, again, to come here. And you can see that each week was set up to follow certain objectives. So for example, in Swedish Ghana, the first week was to go over treatment planning and introduction to clinical projects. And there were certain task group reports that they have to fulfill or have to know as part of it. And then the second week and the third week, you can see kind of, each of the objectives that had to be fulfilled for that. So even before that we started the program, we visited Ghana, we visited every site, we visited a lot of the areas and talked to all the faculty to really establish this program. And we wanted to make sure that it met both of our needs. It met the needs for Ghana, it met the needs for UPenn also. And again, it's about building relationships. So we wanted to make sure that we it's not just a one-time thing. We wanted to have something that was long-lasting, not just for the universities, but for the students, because we know that the global physics is something that is really growing and something that we want to continue to grow. And so here we see our students. When they were there on the left, part of the program was that every weekend they would do a cultural immersion. Like they had to go and see the sites, learn the history, meet the people, eat the food. We told them no American food at all. You eat all Ghanese food because we want you to be fully immersed in the culture. On the right, you see our students here with the students from Ghana doing in the clinic, working together, working on each week. They had a planning project, and our students had to give a talk at the end of each week. And another thing that came out of this that was part of it was that we created a peer-to-peer mentoring group, is that the students from UPenn and UGhana continue to talk to each other. And that's something that we continue to maintain, is that we want them to because these are the future faculty. These are the ones that are going to be working together in the future. They're future colleagues together. And so we created this peer-to-peer mentoring so that the students, can talk to each other about how do I deal with whatever issue that you're working with in medical physics. At the end of the program, we had a symposium, a Global Health Catalyst symposium, similar to what we had here, but it was a one-day symposium where we had different topics. One of the sessions was our students talked about their projects. They talked about their experience. And also we talked about some of the future plans that we had. And so this is more of the structure that we have for the program. And so going into our second year, we are actually having the engineers come. The first year, we just set up the physics part. The next year, now we have the engineers come and they have a project already set up. So we have the University of Pennsylvania Engineering Department with KNUST Biomedical Engineering and UGhana Bioengineering. So the project they're actually working on is developing an app which would take CT images and convert them to MR. So why is that important? Because there are not many MR scanners in Ghana, but you need MR, especially for like head and neck when you're trying to image a lot of soft tissue. And so how do you get around that? So these are projects that we want to develop that are needed locally in the region. And so again, there's things that we can do together that can be implemented in the clinic. So the idea is that the engineers can develop the tools, the medical physics students implement them into the clinic, evaluate them, come back and say, hey, this didn't work right. Can you kind of tweak this? Can you do this? Because this is what we need. Engineers can go back and change it. Medical physics students go back and implement that back into the clinic again to see what works for Ghana. And that's the whole idea. And also, again, it's more of an exchange. We want to do a by learning type system too, where I said we're bringing people from Ghana to the U.S. and U.S. to Ghana. And so this is a cultural exchange program that we're doing. And so again, the long-term goal is to really establish Ghana as a hub for a CAMPEP accredited medical physics program. So we actually are starting the application to have them accredited. So if people are not familiar with CAMPEP, CAMPEP is the Commission for Accreditation of Medical Physics Education Programs. Every program in the US has to be CAMPEP accredited. If not, people who graduate from that cannot go and be board certified medical physicists. And so working with Ghana, this relationship, we believe that they have the infrastructure in order to be the first country in sub-Saharan Africa to be CAMPEP accredited. So what does that do for the country? That means that now they are a hub. And so they can start to train regional spokes. And so if you look at Nigeria, or Cameroon, or Benin, or wherever that's local, now they can have the local people in Ghana train the regional countries. And we hope this model can be used in other places. Creates a pipeline also, as I mentioned, for future medical physics leaders. That's why we think it's important to have this peer-to-peer mentoring, because they are the future leaders and we want them to work together, collaborate together. Hopefully in the future, they're writing grants together, doing research projects together. And also it promotes partnerships and we want it to be a sustainable initiative. That's the main word, sustainability. It's not enough just to go do a program and say, okay, we did this nice thing and then we went back home and then it all falls apart. So why did you waste your time doing that? We want to do this so that, again, 5 to 10 years from now, this is something that is part of what's happening there. So how could we want to expand this to Bangladesh? So why Bangladesh? So Bangladesh had some of the same questions that Ghana had, that they needed to build capacity. You have a growing healthcare infrastructure. You need more physicists, therapists, just skilled healthcare workers. And you have the potential to really have the same kind of model too, where you can partner with the National Institute of Cancer Research Hospital. You have local universities who have physics departments, have engineering departments. I'm sure there are things they're developing there that could be used for medical physics. And when I was talking in Ghana and we were talking to the biomedical engineer and I had the physicist there with me, I asked them, I said, do you guys ever talk to each other? They said, I don't even know. This is the first time we ever talked to each other. And so the same thing happens at the University of Pennsylvania. I go to the radiology department and we don't talk to them. I think that a lot of places work in silos. And I think we really want to break that down, because in order to move forward, we have to really work together. We have to use the innovation from the other departments, implement that, and in order to move the field forward. Again, we want to engage local universities, who are offering engineering programs and physics programs, and see how can we the things that you're working on, maybe we can work on a project together and implement that. So I think one of the actions items that we can do, and I was just talking to a lot of young students just a few minutes ago about, they want to develop a medical physics program and look at how we can move forward in the future. I think now is a good time to do that. We can look at actually the curriculum and see if there's something that can be established in order to move the field forward, and look at some of the training issues and what would be kind of the hub in Bangladesh, where we can build this hub and spoke model, similar to what we did in Ghana. And so we have this one program that is just recently, we believe will be funded. It's called AMPERE. It's an NIH grant, which AMPERE is Access for Medical Physics Education and Research Excellence, where we actually are working with the APM so we can send students to other countries. So the primary and secondary just means that these primary countries are countries that we've been working with. We had some clinical trials, and so we've established some things. The secondaries is that this is what we want to do in year 2. So we hope to start this program next year. And so our dream is to have this program, I'm playing with, called Bridge AI, where Bridge stands for Building Radiation and Biomedical Engineering Innovation for Global Equity in AI-Driven Healthcare. We know this is where the health field is going towards AI. And so I think I'm about to run out of time, but the last slide, I just want to leave with this proverb that I always say at each talk, that if we want to go fast, you go alone, but if you want to go far, we should go together. So I think this is a great opportunity for us to think about how we can work together to build a future here for medical physicists in Bangladesh. Just want to acknowledge the funding that we have received from Penn Global to do this program. And that's the end of my talk. Thank you.